Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome to this little video that I'm creating for you. Welcome also to my house. I hope that everybody's doing great. And please, before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Eric Anaya, and I am from Mexico. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I moved to the States 5 years ago, around 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So the purpose of this video is for me to answer a couple of questions about this assignment, and also for me to give you my personal opinion, and I also would like to share with you a little personal experience about what happened um, about this special topic that we are discussing, which is going to be discrimination. The movie, of course, if you have seen it before, which is the Schindler's List, is basically about the discrimination against the Jewish people. But the main topic that we're going to be talking about is discrimination in general. We have to remember that discrimination can also be because of difference of nationalities, difference in the way we think, difference in religion, and also, believe it or not, difference in the color of our skin. So please let me go ahead and answer the questions. And as I will answer, I will give you also my personal opinion and my personal experiences about this topic. So the first question is, what did you learn from this movie? One of the most important things that I learned about this movie is actually how discrimination can take you so far to the point where even a war can be created, and also some people, or in this case millions of people, talking about the Jews, were killed just because of difference in religion and just because of the discrimination. So I learned that discrimination can take you to the extremes ways of doing things, and it should be avoided because it's something that it doesn't make any good for anybody. Question number two is, how did the movie impacted you? The movie, it really impacted me a lot, especially the second time that I watched the movie. The first time that I watched the movie, it was more than 5 years ago when I was in Mexico, and before that, I didn't know anything about Judaism. I didn't know what Judaism was. I had a couple of friends from the school that they were Jewish, but we were little kids, so I really didn't research about anything back then. I just knew that my friends, they were Jewish, but and that they belonged to another religion, but I didn't know basically anything else. Now, the second time that I watched the movie, I was very familiar with basically everything. And the reason why is because when I moved to the States, I met my girlfriend, which is a Jew. She is from Jerusalem in Israel. And unfortunately, she had family. Her grandparents died in the Holocaust. So, since the moment that I met her, I became very involved with with this topic, and I became very sensitive to this special topic and also to discrimination in general. So it's something that it was very touching, and something that is right now of extreme importance for me. Uh, the next question is, how did the movie alter your perspective? It really altered my perspective in the way that I think that every single human being in this planet, it has to be conscious about what discrimination is, and it should avoid it at all cost, because people have to understand that every single human being is totally different, and that we think in different ways, and we need to learn how to respect that, and that is the key of living in a better society. Question number four is, as a result of this movie, how will it affect or change the way that you interact with others? As I was just saying before, we as human beings, we have the need to communicate and interact with people every single day. In order to have something to communicate with someone, we need to talk. We need to communicate with each other, not only in our house, but also in the school, in our job, with our families. It's a constant communication with everybody else. So the key to live in a better society and to live happy with everybody around you is to learn how to respect each other's point of view and how to tolerate each other. That's the magic word over here. If you know how to respect each other, not only you're gonna be happy, but the other person is gonna be happy, and then everybody else is gonna live in a very peaceful place. That's the main thing about respecting each other's point of view, because you might have a different opinion about certain things. I might have a different opinion about certain things, but that doesn't make me a bad person, and that doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make me a good person either, or it doesn't make me a better person than what you are. We just simply have different points of view. But if we combine those different points of view, we might get even to a better point, because you might see advantages that I don't see, or I might see disadvantages in something that you don't see. So when we bring together those thoughts of different people and then we combine them, we can actually even uh, find better solutions. Um, Next question is, as a result of this experience, how will companies change their training and their accommodations? As I was just saying as well, diversity, it's in the workplace, is something that is extremely helpful, and it's a very important asset. When you are working in a company and you are working, let's say, for example, in a project that you are in charge of, you might just not see other things around the project. Sometimes you might not think outside the box, like we say. So when we are working in teams, that allows us to get different ideas from different people that they come from different backgrounds, and that allows us to see better things and different things that we otherwise wouldn't see on our own ideas. So when we combine all those different ideas and perspectives from other people, we get to a better solutions, and that creates a better productivity for the company, and it creates more value to the company as well. So diversity, it's really important in a company, and also again, to learn how to respect each other's points of view. That creates the key to a better successful relationship between co-workers. The next question is, if you were discriminated against, how do you think or how do you hope you can handle it? As I was just saying in the beginning of this video, discrimination is something that I've been very familiar with and very close to, especially when I came to this country. The reason why is because I felt discriminated as well, and I was discriminated. When I moved to this country and I started to make new friends, they will obviously ask me, like, hey, how are you? Where are you coming from? What's your nationality? And I will answer like everybody, like will answer like every normal people will answer with the truth. I will say, oh, I'm from Mexico. I was born and raised there. I am not 100% Mexican. I'm half Mexican, half Spaniard. But I was born in Mexico, and I've been living there all my time and all my life. So if somebody asks me, I don't even mention that I'm mixed. I will say, yes, of course, I'm Mexican 100%. So I will tell them, yes, I'm from Mexico City. And then unconsciously or consciously, they will start making silly jokes about Mexico, like saying, "Oh, I didn't know that." They will ask me, the first question that they will ask me is like, "Oh, how do you speak English?" And I will be like, oh, are you really asking that question? And I'm like, oh, well, I learned in English in Mexico. And they will answer, oh, I didn't know that they will teach you English in Mexico. Or they will say, uh, oh, you're coming from Mexico. Oh, I know that it's an extremely poor country and that you guys don't have nothing to eat over there, or things like that, you know, things that they will make me feel uncomfortable around everybody else, uh, on the table, or in in the place where I was, and I will feel, a little bit uncomfortable, and it will make me feel also a little bit sad and discriminated, because I will be thinking, I cannot believe that people that they actually live in the first world country, which is the U.S., they don't actually know what is going on over there in Mexico. They actually have the idea that there is that we don't have nothing to eat, that we barely have cars, or that people over there they're so uneducated, that people over there they're just indigenous people. They will, believe it or not, they will have the worst ideas about Mexico, and the reality in Mexico it's totally different from what the majority of the people they have in their minds. So I will be shocked about people telling me those things. Sometimes I even will make a little experiment, and when I will meet something different, when they will ask me where are you from, then I will say, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna tell them that I'm from Spain instead of Mexico. Let's see what happens. And believe it or not, the reaction and the way that they were uh, treating me, it was completely different. Like if I had tell them that I was from Mexico in the first place. It sounds a little bit shocking, and you might not believe it, but the situation and the difference, it was completely extreme. When I will tell them that I was from Spain, they will say, "Oh, that's a very beautiful country. I've been to Madrid and I loved it, and I loved the food, and I loved everybody around me." And if I will tell somebody that I'm from Mexico, everybody they will say, oh, I know that people over there they're so poor. I know that Mexico is extremely dangerous right now. All the negative ideas they will go towards Mexico without actually knowing what the reality is over there. So sometimes it will make me feel a little bit sad, and it will make me uh, think that I couldn't believe that people will think about that way about Mexico. I remember that actually one time I had a friend that I had a fight with because he told me that I was he told me Indio, which in Spanish, of course, that's the word, and in English it means somebody that it comes from an indigenous origin. When he told me that, I got extremely upset. We even had a fight. We hit each other, and it was pretty bad because I was extremely upset. And then after the fight finished, I started to think, and I was like, you know what? Even though like I'm half Spaniard and half Mexican, the fact that he told me that I was an Indio, I should be feel proud of that, because that's actually the country where I'm coming from, and people telling me that, it shouldn't get me offended, because that's actually uh, where I'm coming from. Mexico, it's a very folkloric country, that it's full of tradition, that it's very rich in different kinds of ethnic people, and that's actually what Mexico is. That's actually what the real beauty of my country is. So from that moment, every single time that I will hear something like that, I will be like, yes, I am, and you know what? I am extremely proud of it. And people, they will just be speechless, and they wouldn't say anything else. Um, So yeah, that's actually one of the things that happened with me. And as a conclusion, I would like to say that that discrimination is a very it's an extremely bad thing. Not only not only discriminated against different religion, but sometimes we also discriminate because of the difference of our color of our skin. And discrimination is not good at all. We as a human beings, we tend to stereotype people. Immediately we start to stereotype, and if somebody say, oh, I'm Jewish, oh, so you must be extremely greedy, for example. No. And we have to realize that everybody, even if we belong to a certain group, we are totally different, and we think in a very different way from everybody else. So my advice to you, it'll be not to judge anybody by just the way that they look or just by the way they behave, because there's a reason for it, and that wouldn't make them a bad person, or that wouldn't make them even a better person. To judge by the first impression, sometimes it can be very tricky. I'm gonna share another experience with you. When I was working in a restaurant as a server, sometimes I used to get people like they were not properly dressed, that they looked like almost like homeless, and then I would say, oh, this table, they're not going to spend any kind of money, and they're going to be very cheap, they're not going to leave me any extra tip or anything like that. And then when they will pay the bill, the guy will take out of his pocket a Black American Express, for example, which is one of the most prestigious credit cards that there are. And then I would be like shocked. I would be like, whoa, I didn't even think that you will have like a MasterCard, and you give me a Black American Express. And that's a silly example, but that's a perfect example that it helped me learn not to judge people just by the way they look, or just by the country where they come from, or just not because of the religion that they belong to. The key is really, really to tolerate each other, to learn how to respect each other' thoughts, and believe me that that will improve the way that you live, and also the way that you interact with your family, with your brothers, with your sister, with your father, and also with your friends and with your people at work. And especially at work, it will give you the tools that you need to create better relationships at work, and also personal relationship with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or with people in general. If you learn how to understand, to respect each other's point of view, and to tolerate people, then you're gonna live better and happier. So I hope that these little experiences about myself help you realize that discrimination is really not good at all, and you should try to avoid it at all cost. And I'm also glad that I'm sharing these experiences with you, so you can have also a different views and perspective about what discrimination is, and how people feel about it. So that basically is. I hope that you guys enjoy the video and my experiences. And please, if there is any comments, don't doubt to let me know. And please have a great night. Thank you, everybody. Ciao.